Barbara can do now is wait.
We'll continue to raise awareness with the general public. We'll fight this to the bitter end, basically.
Barbara, just one person who has, in semi-retirement, become a Green campaigner, an unexpected activist. Graham Satchell, BBC News.
And that decision will be made or deferred by Lancashire County Council later today.
Coming up, the BBC News Channel will have the details of that fracking decision as council leaders meet in Preston.
Here on Breakfast, another decision expected today, this time on the future of the first wild beavers in England for 500 years. John Maguire can tell us more. He's in Devon. Morning, John.
Yeah, morning to you, Bill. We're on the banks of the River Otter. There have been beavers here for the last few years. No one quite knows how they came back to the UK. The question now is, should they be allowed to stay? It's a decision to be made today by Natural England. This is the type of thing that a beaver will do to a tree to bring it down to access the vegetation. The locals, naturalists, describe them as aquatic engineers. They're a fascinating animal. We'll talk more about them after the news, travel and weather, where you're watching Breakfast this morning.
Hello, good morning. 2 planning applications to frack for shale gas in Lancashire will be heard by county councillors this morning. Planners said Quadrilla should be refused permission for sites at Rosacre and Little Plumpton because of noise levels and traffic problems. The firm wants a deferral to resolve those issues. If that isn't granted, a final decision will be made by the end of the week.
For the sake of Lancashire's future prosperity, we need to have something in place that will bring investment to the area, that will create jobs and that will lift the local economy.
It would just simply destroy so many lives, and we just can't lay down and let them drive over us.
And BBC Radio Lancashire will be following the story all throughout the day, and there'll be live updates too on the Twitter feed at BBC Lancashire. Figures released today show Blackpool's lifeboat crew was the busiest in the north of England last year. The RNLI's issued a warning for people to respect the water and ensure they know the tide times, weather conditions and seaworthiness of equipment. In 2014, Blackpool's lifeboat crew launched 94 times. The crews in Morecambe, Ainsdale and Crosby were also amongst the busiest. On to sport now. Liverpool have missed out on a trip to Wembley. In the second leg of the League Cup semi-final at Stamford Bridge, they were beaten 1-0 after extra time. Chelsea go through to the final. And Preston North End also missed out on a trip to Wembley as they were knocked out of the Johnson's Paint Trophy after a goalless draw at Walsall. It meant they lost the Northern Area final 2-0 on aggregate. Artefacts from Southeast Asia are arriving at Chester Zoo for its new £30 million development. They include longboats, which have been bought from fishermen in Indonesia. They'll become part of the zoo's Island project, which is due to open later this year. Time now for a look at the weather. The details come from Charlie Slater.
Good morning to you, and it's an eventful day of weather in the northwest as well. We've got a fair amount of snow around, certainly a possibility, particularly over higher ground, and for that reason we have got the yellow warning in place. 3 to 8 centimetres a possibility. I mean, this morning it's mainly just rain, but then the temperatures really fall as we go through the daytime. Quite windy as well, and as the temperatures fall, there is a chance that the rain then does fall as snow. As I mentioned, it is showers, so it's not going to be affecting every single person. It is going to be somewhat hit and miss, and that same theme does continue as we make our way through into the early hours of Thursday morning. A very, very cold night and a very cold day on Thursday as well. Temperatures really struggling on Thursday. You can see that again we are at risk of seeing a few snow showers, but the temperatures and the forecast very, very variable over the next 24 hours, and where the snow will fall is also variable, so keep an ear over your local BBC radio station.
Onto the roads now, and there are big problems on the M62 in Greater Manchester. Queuing traffic due to an earlier broken down vehicle on the M62 eastbound near Rochdale, and also on the westbound just after Birch Services there's a broken down lorry causing long delays. There's one lane closed and heavy traffic due to a broken down vehicle on the M60 clockwise near Cheadle Roscoe's roundabout. Delays of up to 30 minutes on Northern Rail between Todmorden and Manchester Victoria due to safety checks, and disruption too to the Isle of Man steam packet ferry between Douglas and Heysham due to adverse weather conditions. That's it from me for now. I'm back with another bulletin just around 9 o'clock. Until then, do have a very good morning. Goodbye.